is video number 45 for cello players. And in this video, we're going to, of course, work on our echoing and with our bowing. I'm going to increase the agility in your fingers. We're going to be skipping around a lot. And then at the end, we're going to do the D major scale and add the arpeggio back into it. Okay? Because the last few days, should have been practicing your scale every day, but just the scale with your bow. Now we're going to add the arpeggio back in. Arpeggios are so important to be able to do well because quite often they appear in music, just like they did in Lightly Row in the last video. So start off with some basic echoing to increase your agility, increase your muscle memory, and just in general, get better strength and better tone. Do G, F sharp, G, F sharp. Go G, F sharp, G, F sharp. Now 2 G's, 2 E's. Go G, G, E, E. 2 D's, 2 F sharps. Go D, D, F sharp, F sharp. Try this. D, F sharp, D, F sharp. Not easy, but you can do it, I bet. D, F sharp, D, F sharp. Echo me. Go D, F sharp, D, F sharp. Now do D, G, D, G. Go D, G, D, G. Okay? If you need to pause and repeat any of those, please go ahead and do so. The tempo right now is at 56. I'm going to bump it up here in just a moment. Go over to high D. Do high D, C sharp, high D, C sharp. High D, C sharp, high D, C sharp. Now high D, B, high D, B. That's going to be tricky. So, high D, B, high D, B. Now 2 A's, 2 C sharps. A, C sharp, C sharp. Now A and then high D. A, high D, high D. Now, let's go ahead and try to do our scale, followed by our arpeggio right after, okay? The scale, actually, let's review the arpeggio first. Let's do that first. Do 2 of each, 2 open D's, and F sharp, then open A, then high D. Repeat the high D and come back down. Open A, F sharp, open D. Let's do just the arpeggio first. Try that with me. And ready, and go. D, now F sharp, open A, high D. Repeat the high D, open A, F sharp, open D. Now, if you have not been practicing that since you learned it way back when we were plucking it, I'm going to tell you to go back and find that video that teaches you the arpeggio and go back and learn what the arpeggio is. You should have that memorized. If you've been doing all your videos in order, this shouldn't be a problem for you, okay? Now, is it more complicated because you're using your bow? Absolutely. But if you don't remember the notes of the arpeggio, my guess is you didn't practice like you were supposed to. All right, so you're going to have trouble with this, all right, because it takes some agility here. Let's try just the arpeggio again. D, then F sharp, then open A, then high D. Repeat the high D, open A, F sharp, open D. With me? Ready, and go. D, F sharp, open A, high D. High D, open A, F sharp, open D. Okay, now we're going to try the scale with the arpeggio right after it, just like you used to do when you were plucking. Now just with the bow. So when we finish the scale, don't be done, because we're not done. We got to go on the arpeggio right after. Here we go, scale on arpeggio. D, then E, then F sharp, just like we did before. 2 of each. And ready, and go. D, now E. F sharp, G. Open A, B, C sharp, high D. Repeat the high D. Come down, C sharp, E, okay, get ready for G, for G, get right on the tape, press it hard, Now don't forget, we're going to do the arpeggio now. Open D, and F sharp. Open A. High D. Repeat the high D. Open A. F sharp. Open D. Okay? You might want to practice that a bit on your own, but that is something you should do every single day now. All right? Every day you're doing your D major scale and arpeggio until further notice. Eventually we'll learn G major and C major, and we'll do it with different rhythms and make them more complicated. But until that time, every day, practice your D major scale and your arpeggio, because it's going to increase your agility, it's going to increase your strength, it's going to build muscle memory, you're going to develop a better tone, again, because you can focus on those things and not have to focus on which note is next. So keep doing that every day. Every day, do the D major scale and arpeggio.